Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Duly Diagnosed podcast, where we discuss all things mental health related. So today we've got Richard Host in the studio. Richard's a sponsor from a 12-step fellowship, and he's going to answer some questions that some of the patients at ARC have prepared for him. We asked a bunch of them what questions they might have for a sponsor for when they get out of treatment, and they responded with an interesting list of questions. Richard, thanks for joining us. Hey, welcome.
Oh, my pleasure.
Cool.
Thanks for having me.
Cool. Right, so let's get into the first question. So the company I used to work for before I was admitted to treatment was one of the places where I used my drug of choice. Do you think it's okay for me to return to this job, or should I rather look for a new job?
Okay, so I'll just, to clear it up, I'm going to speak on my own experience and how things were for me and how they are for me, and I'll speak for basically me. I can't speak for everyone else.
Okay.
But, when it comes to, it says the company I used to work for before I was admitted to treatment, I've been back to companies, the 12-step program, the 12-step fellowship. It's a 12 steps. It's basically a spiritual solution. That's really what it really comes down to, is letting go of everything, and it's got a process that needs to be followed. So if I relapse and I used to use at a company, and then I go back out there and I use, and I go straight back to that company, it's more likely just going to continue for me personally, and I've done that before. But if I go and I leave the company, and the company is aware of what's happened, and the people at the company aren't the people using, it's only me, I'm not using with them, and and they find out that I have relapsed, and they find out the truth, and they're prepared to take me back. But the thing is, I need to go out, and for me, I had to go through the process of restoring me to some form of sanity again. So I needed some form of treatment, and my treatment was the 12 steps. And once I'd gone through the process, I'd recovered from a hopeless state of mind. And in that frame of mind, only then can I return. And for me, it was fine to go back, but only once I'd done that. So for me, it depends on what I do after I leave the company. So the main thing is that it's okay to go back to a place that you used to work for, even though you used there, as long as you've done the work and you continue doing the work. My experience is I'm going to be okay.
I mean, I know stories about guys who own bottle stores, and they went into treatment, and prior to, obviously on leaving treatment, they went back to work at the bottle store, and managed to stay sober.
Yeah.
Which I suppose is like it's the it sounds pretty unusual for that kind of thing to happen. But I mean, I suppose the guys really.
Yeah, it's unusual. There is a thing where we get taught in some places where they refer to people, places, things. These are all acronyms that are thrown around no matter where you go.
I mean, if you work in a bar, right?
Yeah.
Like and you kind of like serving drinks, and it gets you got to work until like 3 a.m, and like maybe not such a good idea to go back to that kind of place.
Yeah, but that's where the program and. Put it this way, the treatment that I receive restores me to sanity.
Okay.
So I realized I've got a drug and alcohol problem.
Yeah. So
and I'm 4 weeks, 6 weeks clean.
Yeah.
And if my thinking is like, no, it's going to be okay to go and do that, I'm fine. It's
like
that's not restored to sanity.
I hear you.
You know what I mean? Like any sane person that's just gone down the road of working in a nightclub.
Yeah,
using drugs all night, drinking all night, then he goes back and works at a nightclub. Now that scenario is a different scenario. If you had a legitimate job, 9 to 5, accountant or a bookkeeper, or he's a salesman, fair enough.
Yeah.
But if he's going back to a place like that, so like sanity will prevail. Like for me, I'm a sponsor, but I never ever tell my sponsees what they can and can't do, because I believe that they should be able to live freely. But living freely is also making the right decisions. And whatever decision you make is going to have an impact. And then whatever decision you make, the impact you're going to have is going to make you grow. So whether it's never right or wrong, whatever you decide, it's going to end one way or the other. But whichever way it ends, teaches you something.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my whole thing, is to let the person in front of me live his life how he wants to live it.
Okay.
And if he's really done the work,
Mm.
he would have been restored to sanity, and his choices will be better.
Mm. Mm.
And he will run it by people. Like for
Mm.
me, I believe in involving people in my decisions and getting a perspective change. So if I ask 4 people, should I go back to the nightclub where I work, and 3 say no and 1 says yes, I think the answer would be I'd go with the 3.
I remember being in early recovery and sort of asking enough people so that eventually I'd get the one person who'd give me the answer that I'd want to hear.
That's why people have 2 sponsors,
Sure.
in case the one gives him the wrong answer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe let's also just look at quickly, can you tell us what a sponsor is exactly?
Yeah, you see, there's a lot of fellowships out there, but all of them are based on the 12 steps that originated back in the day.
Yeah.
And if you follow back in the 1930s, a guy by the name of Bill Wilson developed the 12 steps, and it's filtered its way through everything. So it's gambling, drugs, even life. If you replace alcoholism with life, people struggle with life. It works for everything. So a sponsor is, I've gone through life and I've ended up in a place where the common denominator throughout my life has been me, no one else. So every relationship, every argument, every fight, every job loss, everything, I'm the one that's present in all of those situations. Those things that I've dealt with have come and gone. So now I've brought myself to a place now where I need help. So now if I think I can fix the problem with the same mind that created the problem, I'm going to get a bigger problem.
Yep.
So therefore, a sponsor is a person that I can confide in the beginning, and he takes me through what he went through, because to qualify me as a sponsor is that in the 12-step fellowship is, have you done the 12 steps? Yes, I have. Okay, how did you do it? And I did it this way. Okay, that's the way I also want to do it. And then you ask him, can you help me?
Okay.
And then he takes me through the whole process. I go through, it's basically a leveling of my pride process. And then I get restored to some form of sanity. And then my sponsor becomes a closed mouth friend, a guy that I can rely on. I'll also make other friends that I can talk to. And what happens is it teaches me to talk. So like I'll have a situation where I was going to go to, I want to do something. I want to buy a new car. Hey, and I've got all these great ideas. And then I phone my sponsor and I say, hey, listen, I'm going to buy a new car, this and that. And the guy says, but you still living with your mom. I'm like, yeah. So like you owe your mom money and she's going to see you rock up at home with a new car. How do you think she's going to feel? Yes, I never thought about that.
Okay.
And I'll give you an example of a sponsor. A guy sponsored me, and I was so angry because he never took my calls. He never did anything. And I was driving to his house to go teach him a lesson. Yeah. So I thought, I'm going to teach this like a lesson. Then I phoned another guy. And another guy said to me, Richard, before you do anything, ask him how he's doing.
Okay.
I said, but like, he's my sponsor. I don't care how he's doing. You know? I want to know, he must be fixing me.
Okay.
Then I got to this guy's house and I thought, let me just listen to this guy.
Yeah.
And I said to my sponsor at the time, I said, listen, your buddy, how are you? He said, my brother died on Tuesday.
Shame on you. Okay.
So I'm like, oof. Imagine I went there and beat him up or did something crazy because he didn't take my calls, but the guy's brother died.
Yeah.
So that other guy also acted as a sponsor. A sponsor is just a closed mouth friend. Sponsor is a name that people brought out years along the time. What happens is if I walk into
there's no real mention of it in the big book.
Nothing.
Right?
Sponsor's not worded. It's worded in the 12 by 12. But if I go to a CA, if I go to an NA, or if I go to a Gamblers Anonymous meeting and I sit there, every person in there is a sponsor.
Okay.
Because they're closed mouth friends. I can talk to them about anything because they just like me. And the more I use them, the more I make the right choices.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because the majority, if 9 people say I'm an idiot and 1 says I'm a good guy, I'm more likely an idiot.
I hear you. Sure. Yeah. Okay, so all right, let's move on to the next question then. Okay, when I attend work functions, people constantly question me about why I'm not drinking. I'm not comfortable telling them that I'm an addict yet, and I'd like to put an end to their constant badgering. What is the best way to handle this kind of thing?
That's the easy one. I get that right every time. Okay, my drug of choice, if anybody wants to know, it's alcohol, heroin, and crack cocaine. That's what I use predominantly.
Okay.
But the main thing was the crack cocaine, and the rest was just to bring down however I felt from it, and it was an up and down thing. so now I'm joining a company, and I don't tell them that that's my issue. Like, I don't say anything. They don't really ask you, do you have this problem or that problem, you know? And then I start the company, and they eventually invite me for a bra, and immediately I just say, hey, I don't drink. And they say, why not? I just say, listen, yeah, like, I'm one of those unfortunate ones, and if I touch that drink, I just won't stop.
Yeah.
I just want to carry on and carry on and carry on, and I'm just never going to end. And they laugh, and they're like, nah, it can't be that bad. I said, I'm telling you. You guys will be bailing me out of prison on Tuesday. And they laugh. They think it's a joke.
Sure.
And then they all say to me, hey, Richard, I've got a friend like that. And then you know what? After that, they never ever ask me again.
Okay.
I just tell them, like, when I start that stuff, hey, then it just doesn't stop. I don't tell them about all the other stuff I use. I just say, if I go and I party with you guys, I won't stop.
Yeah.
The party will carry on for weeks. And they all laugh. And they think it's funny. And you make a joke about it, but they never ever ask you for a drink again.
Okay.
It shuts it down. And you make light of the situation. Because each and every one of the people you'll come into contact with will more likely have a family member or someone that is the same as me.
Yeah. Sure.
Hey, my brother's like that.
Sure.
You know? And it's always when you go to a party, it's the drunkest guy telling you, hey, I don't really drink like this. But the guy's hammered every weekend. You know? He's like, it needs help.
Yeah.
No, it's very simple that. Like, you just make light of it. You don't have to go there and say, yeah, no, I'm in Cocaine Anonymous, and I'm in there for crack cocaine and heroin, and this is, no, you don't have to do any of that.
Okay.
When I start, I can't stop.
Yeah. Simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, and people understand that.
Yeah.
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 It's weird.
I mean, I relate. I've been to functions and things, and it's happened once in 15 years for me, where somebody's come up to me and like try to pour a drink down my throat. Right? Like that very rarely happens, where people badger you to the point that it's like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're hanging around with some drunk guys and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and like, I mean, I think things can get awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, at 3 o'clock in the morning.
But also, I don't overstay my welcome.
Yeah.
Like when I'm at a function, I don't say goodbye. I just leave. 10 o'clock, you don't see me because nobody even knows I'm gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'll see them the next day and they won't even know I left the night before. Hey, it was lekker last night.
So when the slurring starts and the stumbling starts, hit the road. Okay. Okay, that's good advice, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, it was suggested to me that whilst in treatment that I shouldn't attempt to stop smoking during my first year of recovery. I'm 6 months clean and I'd really like to stop. Do you think it's a good idea?
In all honesty, no.
Okay.
I don't think stopping anything. Like, you've just come from for me, it's like 20 odd years of abusing drugs, alcohol, and whatever. And you know, at the end of the day, my focus is to be restored to some kind of sanity and try to rebuild my life. And any changes I make are going to impact me. Like, I'm not qualified to go through the emotions and the feelings that come from doing that, you know, like maybe in time, but I wouldn't suggest somebody coming into treatment 3 months later, I want to stop this and I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to do this.
Make serious changes.
Yeah, because that's me again, taking control, you know.
Okay.
If I just let it unfold, like, I'm smoking because I like it and I'm doing all of these things and it's okay. The moment I come into recovery, I want to have the zen, you know, and just
floats out of bed,
do everything. You know, I haven't managed to do anything for 20 years. Now all of a sudden I want to do everything. Like, it's baby steps, you know.
Okay.
It's a slow process that you got to go through. And for me, it's like, don't make too many commitments on anything, because what happens is if I try to stop smoking, my personality is like, I tell 50 people I've stopped smoking because I'm an addict and I want to share it to the world. I'm stopping smoking tomorrow. I'm doing all of this. And the next day I light a cigarette. Now I'm hiding it. Now I'm feeling uncomfortable. Now I'm feeling stressed. Now I've told these folks I've stopped smoking. Then it drives me insane. I'll drive myself insane.
Yeah.
You know? So I'd rather just do nothing.
Yeah.
For me, I believe in the less I do, the better.
Okay.
You know? I just focus on following the basic, keeping it as basic as possible.
Yeah.
And just keeping it simple as possible.
So like it's a good lifestyle choice to quit smoking, obviously, right?
Yes.
But like you say, it's a big decision, and it's a decision that's probably gonna have a very strong emotional sort of impact.
Yes.
So and the first year is a little bit tumultuous, right? It's a little bit up and down, hey, the first year. So buy yourself some time in that first year, maybe, hey, or
you've got to go, and the thing is, you got to understand is that like, we drink coffee, we smoke cigarettes, we have things that we enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, and then to strip ourselves of everything. You know, you find in the beginning, you got to go through a process. So when you come out of rehab, you got pressure from family, pressure at work. You might go back to a wife, and you got all of these things coming on. Now you must throw stopping smoking into the mix, and you got to throw all these things into the mix by trying to not do anything. Like what happens is, if stopping smoking meant just stopping, then it's okay.
Yeah,
because
doesn't
sometimes
mean that.
no, but if it's like I'm gonna consciously stop and I'm gonna try and I'm gonna force for me, when I try to do anything, I mess it up properly. Yeah.
And I think that's also important because, like, if you do make that kind of commitment and you screw it up, it's like it does kind of you feel kind of like almost like a failure, right? So it's you can be hard on yourself, right?
Exactly.
And that's so buy yourself some time. Easy does it, I think they say, right?
Yeah, it is. It's just take it easy. Like, I don't have to conquer the world. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Okay.
And there's so much that I still have to do and not have to. There's still lots of things happening in front of me. Like stopping smoking, it's a good idea. I would like to stop smoking and you're willing to stop. The time will come, but you'll know when the time comes. But for me to forcefully try and do things, then I'm taking control of my life again. And that's where I can't. Like, I got to just let things happen naturally.
To unfold.
Like, I wouldn't have. I started vaping a few months in, but I would never have been able to stop. It would have driven me insane.
As vaping.
Yeah. So now I vape, but I was vaping like 25 milligrams nicotine, and I was, so it was the same thing really.
Sure.
And
sure.
so I ended up stopping, but I still had that. That stick.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Next question is, why is it suggested that I not glorify my drug usage and the fun that I had in my using days?
Okay.
It's pretty obvious one.
Yeah, it's like, do I still want to be, like, if I'm busy glorifying it, it means I still want to be there.
I hear you.
Like,
okay.
I moved on in life. But the thing is, there's only one value, sharing your drug use and how you were and how it was.
Like war stories.
Yeah, it's only one time when it's beneficial. It's if you go to someone that's got a problem like you and you have a chat with him and you tell him this is who I am. And then he says, geez, I'm just like you. And then he asks you for help, but then you never talk about it again. Okay. There's one thing that's more powerful than anything is my experience of what I've done that's going to win that guy over. If that guy says to me, what are you? No, I'm an accountant. Have you ever tried drugs? No, I've never tried that. Have you ever drank? No, I've never drank. Have you ever done this? No, I've never done any of these things. And then I say, but I can help you. He's going to look at me and think, no, you don't know, you're nuts. So if I joke around with the guy and I tell him, hey, I got caught up here and I was caught up there and I did this, and the guy's like, yes, I'll tell you a story, this and that. And I said, you know what? But now for a few years now, I haven't done anything. And he's like, how did you do that? If you really want to know how, meet me on Thursday for a coffee and I'll tell you. And if you're interested, I'll take you through the steps.
Cool.
Then I never talk about it again.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So that's cool. It's valuable only once.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I'm sitting every single day talking to my buddies about glorifying him and how it was, then I'm missing the atmosphere and I'm missing what I did. Then I might as well, because eventually I'm going to just go back.
Yeah. Yeah. Straight.
Exactly. Like, if you're doing the work and whatever's set out, no matter what the work is, there's always some kind of aftercare thing that you can do, and either the 12 steps, people sometimes pick psychology or treatment or some kind. Some people pick religion, some people pick whatever. But the people that generally follow through with something afterwards, and they maintain it and they continue, they don't really talk about it. It's only the ones that are missing and want to go back there.
Well, there's nothing really too glamorous about doing all of those things anyway. It's like really making it sweat to yourself.
Like it's like if you want to go to the fellowship and be the most hardcore, have the most hardcore stories, then you're just going to be the most hardcore idiot. Because all the good people are not in the rooms; they're outside there, being family and fathers and brothers. We there because we couldn't live our life. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next one. Is it all right for me to gamble now that I'm in recovery? Gambling wasn't my primary addiction.
You see, for me, I don't gamble. Like, I have taken the odd lottery ticket here or there, and I've never had a gambling issue. But, like, I know people that do have gambling problems. But for me, I believe I can do anything, and it goes down to, am I doing the work? Am I in a fit spiritual condition? Am I in the right frame of mind? You know, and my mother and the family, they want to go to the casino and put 100 Rand in a machine and walk away. Like, I don't really see a problem with that. But if I'm in Gamblers Anonymous,
yeah, no.
Yeah, so then it's like, okay, maybe it's not a good idea. But that's where the sanity part comes back in. You know, it's like, what is my motive for wanting to go there?
That's the thing,
So
sure.
I'm going gambling because my mother has invited me to go for dinner and put couple hundred Rand in a machine or 50 Rand in a machine, in one of the 1 cent machines, and just have a little bit of fun because she's enjoying herself. I'm there for her. It's okay.
And I think that's also kind of like where a sponsor comes in. Is like,
Exactly.
hey, listen, dude, I'm going off to the casino. We're going for dinner.
Yeah.
Do you think it's cool if I go and like spend some time at the blackjack table or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And the sponsor's going to kind of, you know, I think any good sponsor's really going to sort of ask, well, like what's the mission exactly? Like,
Yeah, they're going to ask the right questions.
they're going to ask the right, yeah.
They're going to ask questions I haven't thought of. Yeah. And then it's like, if I can answer those questions from a selfless, motiveless type of angle, then it's fine. You know, then it's like, you know, what are you going there for? No, my mom has invited me. Like, I haven't seen her in 2 months. Okay, well, that sounds quite cool. Why are you going there? No, because I'm keen on blackjack. You know,
I know my sponsor would have told me to take half the money, go to the nearest orphanage and drop off some sweets and chocolates and shit,
Yeah.
and then blow the rest.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I know, like he's told me that, right? And,
Yeah, yeah.
and I've had to follow through with it. And I always stop at dropping the
Yeah.
stuff off at the orphanage because it's like,
Yeah.
right, I'm gonna go really be that self-centered to go and waste money at a
Yeah.
blackjack table that I, you know, and like when I could help
Yeah.
these unfortunate kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or these,
No,
or these
exactly.
less than fortunate kids, yeah.
No, exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
like if you're doing good, like going to the casino with my mom, it's her birthday. So now I'm taking her out, I'm paying for a dinner, I'm giving her 100 Rand, she's gambling. I've hurt my mother, I've taken her through a lot of trauma because of me. So if that's what she wants, fair enough. But if I'm going there on my own,
Yeah.
to go and spend 6-7 hours just banging coins in a machine and playing cards and things like this, like for me, it's not something that I would do.
And you want to be careful about sort of using your mom's birthday as an excuse to kind of get to the table if you're the kind of person that kind of ends up sort of sending your mom home and
No, then I'm going to
Going
stay
full
there.
tilt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
okay.
So it's like if it's something that I've been with my sponsor and I've been doing well for a long time, and she said, listen, this is what she would like to do, and it's come from her, fair enough. But I mean, I'm not going to go spend 6 hours at a blackjack table
No,
because
yeah.
anything that's going to bring me joy is going to make me want more of it. So if I land on the number and I make like 3 grand in one pop, I'm back there.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not going anywhere.
Dangerous.
Yeah, then I'm
Yeah.
broke. Then the next morning I'll be broke. It's going to take control of me.
Yeah, so I think, so I mean, again, it's reasonable to chat to your sponsor about. and
Exactly.
like, you know,
No, that's something you would say. Yeah.
Does it make sense for me to go and blow half my salary or risk half my salary or
No.
whatever? You know what I mean?
Have you made your amends? Have you paid your mother back? Is your rent up to date? Or
That's it.
Or all your primary purposes and things and responsibilities met? And if you can say yes,
Cool.
then it doesn't matter because then it's fine. But like you'll find that the guy still owes somebody a cell phone.
Yeah.
He still owes a laptop and he still owes this. So that money you're going to go and blow at the blackjack table, you should be making amends with it. You should be
And
saying
it's-
sorry.
I mean, I think if one has to think about like having a healthy lifestyle in recovery as well, like gambling doesn't really fit. You know, even
No.
if you don't have a problem, it doesn't really fit in there with
No.
a good like a good lifestyle, right? It's not.
No, exactly.
you know,
Like I've
like a bit of thrill seeking.
yeah.
It's like, do we really want to go down that road? Yeah.
No, like for me, gambling, like I don't do it. You know, like I help. I'd rather give the money to my mother. You know, or I'd rather give something to my sister than go throw it away. You know what I mean? Like it's just not me. Like personally, I wouldn't go do it at all. Like and if when I've settled all my amends, I'm gonna be flipping 80 years old. So I can't gamble until those are settled. You know.
Yeah.
It's just my priorities. And I believe in living a balanced life. Like my home life must be okay. I find a lot of guys in recovery, they end up in a halfway house and they live there for the rest of their lives and their mother pays their halfway house and they just never go anywhere. You know, for me, it's not about that. It's like get a job, put food on the table, be self-supporting.
Take
you know?
on responsibility.
Exactly, be
Yeah.
self-supporting. Like today, like I was blacklisted. I had judgments. I had all of these things. Like my credit history is clear. I've got a car that's in my name. My rent is in my name. I've paid back debt that I owed my brother for rehabs that he paid for me. I paid back debt that I owed my mother that she took out for me. I paid back I'm settling it, and I'm still doing it to this day. And I'm not going to be able to gamble until that's done.
I hear you.
That's a priority, you
Yeah.
know, and it's something that if somebody's in the right state of mind, like spending their money at the casino and their mother's paying for their halfway house and their mother's paying for their food and this kind of thing, then that concept is not okay.
No.
But like you said, I'll have the idea of going to the casino. My sponsor will say, well, have you paid your mom? Have you paid your sister? What amends have you done? And I'm going to say none. I said, well, what do you think you should
Maybe
do?
you should start from
Yeah,
the beginning.
exactly. What do you think you should do? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. How do I find a power greater than me? I don't believe in anything.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, like for me, the simple answer to that is to believe in nothing, you still believe in something. So nothing is something. So to say you do not believe is an impossibility.
Okay.
Because if a person says, I do not believe in anything, because people are more focused on the word God than focused on believing. You know, there's a big difference. God is just a word. God.
Yeah.
It's not, doesn't identify to anything. It's just what people say. God. Personally, is what I think. I never grew up, my family never, ever put religion on me or anything. So I knew nothing about anything. Never read the Bible, never knew anything. I came into this fellowship and people started talking about God. It was like I never had a blame God or please God, can I have a Christmas prayer? I never had that. Like I never knew about a God. Like I just know that other people prayed in this religion. I went to churches for weddings. It wasn't for me. And then I had to come to believe in something. You know, and all I needed to know is that whatever this thing is, it's bigger than me. Like I can't go and put a seed in some sand and put a bit of water on it and this thing grows.
So I think in order for you to have a higher power, or in order for it to be a higher power, it's got to be loving, caring, and not you.
Yeah. So
I think it's those three requirements. Eh?
Yeah, so if I take a list and somebody says to me, Richard, if you had to respect a guy, like what traits would he have? And I'd say, no, a guy that's honest, a guy that's loving, kind, and he's all. And I give a list of maybe 8 items. And then take those 8 things of a guy. Now just imagine that guy is on your shoulder, and every time you walk around the day and you do something and you act, you ask that guy, and you think this is okay, knowing that you respect this guy.
Okay.
And imagine he's on your shoulder, not in the sky, not in the ground, not in a tree or a doorknob or wherever. He's sitting on you. You're carrying him. So when you're about to shout at your friend, he's like looking at you. Like, you think that's okay?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just pretend he's there.
Sure.
And the thing is, when you go to bed at night, you ask him, like, hey, did I do the best I can? And you hold that piece of paper and you go like, was I like this? No, I wasn't. Okay, I'll try again tomorrow.
So it doesn't have to be anything too fancy, man. It's like can be something simple, practical, and straightforward. And
yeah, like if my dad, like my brother, for instance, I respect my brother dearly, you know, and he's got a big voice towards me. Like if he says something, I listen. Like me, he's like, hey, Rich, you know, like he's got a presence about him.
Okay.
So if I had to walk around the day and he had to walk next to me all day, I wouldn't do half the things I usually do.
Okay. I hear you. Okay.
You know, so I just got to imagine that he's there.
Yeah.
Like I'm about to do something. Hey, like he's over your shoulder, and that's as simple as that. And then eventually it develops where a conscience develops. That's what I'll give you an example for me. God consciousness. I boil a kettle, and I boil the kettle and I take a little bit of water in, and I'm sitting in a rehab, and I make myself a coffee, and I check there's not much water left, and I'm thinking, hey, if I leave this, somebody else is going to have to fill it up. Maybe I should go fill it up so everybody else can have a cup of coffee. But what I do is I decide not to fill it up The God consciousness was to fill it up. Self-will was to leave it. So what did I act on? Self-will. If I went and filled it up, it was God's will.
Okay.
Or if it's not God's will, it was my brother's will.
Okay. Yeah.
Whatever this thing is next to me, I want to believe it is.
Okay.
But it's just not me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know, and I believe my brother.
Nicely put. Yeah.
My brother's more successful than me. He's more logical than me.
Yeah.
He's got a family. He's got everything I want. He handles situations better than me. He's calmer than me. So like,
yeah, those are things to admire.
yeah. So like, he's like, I can look up to this. Like.
Yeah.
So if the X is out, I don't believe in what.
And it's like a values and principles to strive for. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always somebody out there that you like.
Yeah.
So imagine that is walking with you and you're about to do something and he's there.
Okay.
But the nice thing about the recovery, the 12 steps is that it's a letting go. Every step lets go of something, and it brings you to a place where it sort of makes that consciousness more aware. So like when I finish the 12 steps and I drive around, like I'm thinking good things. I don't act on half of them. But if I acted on every good thought I had, I'd be the most amazing guy on earth. Hey, shame that lady needs help with her bag. Maybe I should go push that trolley, or maybe I should go pack the cart. I think like that all day, but I do none of it.
Okay.
You know, the thing I will do is the thing that I'm going to enjoy doing.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, but thing is, that's the consciousness inside of me is a God consciousness. But the moment I act on it, for me, that's God's will.
Okay. That makes sense. Eh?
Yeah, because the one that doesn't do it is me.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. There will be alcohol. Wait, hold on. There will be alcohol at many of the family functions I'm invited to. Should I attend or stay away?
Okay, the program that I follow, well, not the program, the solution that I have is obviously restores me once again to sanity. So there's questions I ask myself, you know, like, am I doing all the things I'm supposed to be doing? Yes. Am I in a good space? Yes. You know, have I spoken to my sponsor? You know, like, how's my relationship been with the people around me? And if I'm in a good frame of mind and family invite me over there, it's my motive for going to the family is because it's my sister's birthday and I'm going there for her birthday. Whether there's drink or alcohol, for me, is not a thought to today. So like drugs and alcohol isn't my problem. So like if I'm stone cold sober and I pick up the alcohol did nothing because I'm sober when I do it. So that's automatic. It's not this, you know. But like when I'm not in a good frame of mind, this is what's going to relieve me because my thinking is there. Okay. But if my thinking and I'm in a good space and I can check all the boxes and I'm not going there to soak up the atmosphere, I'm going to be okay. You know what I mean? But once again, like this is where, like for me with my sponsee, I'll ask him a few questions, and if he's comfortable and he's told me the truth, if he's lying to me, I can't help you.
Sure.
Then it's up to him. But if he's honest about it, then he can go anywhere. He can do anything. Like today, I went and I bought I picked up a docking station for my laptop, and I went to a place in Benoni town, and I parked on a corner where they sell drugs, and three guys came to my window, this and that, and I climbed out the car, went and got my thing. The guy from the shop walked me back to my car because I thought, hey, this thing is expensive, and I don't want to just, so I climbed back in the car, and it was fun. Yeah. Like the thought of, it's not there. But if I was angry, irritable, and I just had a fight with a friend and a fight at work, and I went to that corner, I might have had a different experience in terms of how I felt. Yeah. So only I know those answers. Like only I know when I'm in the right frame of mind. But the thing is also to be honest with your family. You know what? Like I'm not in a good space, so I don't think I should go.
I mean, I remember it was early recovery, and I was a groomsman at one of my friends' weddings, and so I'm at this wedding, and it's in the middle of Durban town. We're staying in this like hotel thing in Durban town. It was weird, and I was sitting around, and one of the other guys bought everyone a round of drinks, and I was like, fuck it, like I don't know if I should buy everyone a round of drinks because I'm in recovery. And so I was like, I phoned my sponsor, and I was like, listen, should I buy everyone milkshakes or should I buy them coffees? And he's like, no, buy them a round of drinks. You're not a freak.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You came into recovery, like you have a fucking milkshake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shouldn't have dropped the F-bomb. Okay, but anyway, so I was like, yeah, you have a milkshake. let everyone, buy everyone around a drink. So you didn't come into recovery to kind of like, you're not a freak.
Yeah.
It's okay. And again, it's back to what's the intention.
Yeah.
It's like
It's always about the motive.
That's it.
If you see me in a meeting one day and I'm dressed all casual, and then a girl rocks up at the meeting, and then next week I've got a brand new outfit, I'm smelling nice, my hair's all done. What's my motive for all of it? It's like there's this new girl I want to impress.
Okay.
And there's only one person who knows that truth, and it's me. An example I give guys is that the self-honesty you have to have when you do this stuff. It's like you can sit with as many psychologists as you want, and the problem is that psychologists. It's not that the psychologist doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you just exactly. Psychologists can't help you if you're lying to them. Your sponsor can't help you if you're lying to them.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to work for you if you're lying to them. You know what I mean? So if I go to a place and I go with my family and they've got this big dinner spread, and I like my food, I love my food, and they all know that. So I'm there. Like eventually the family says, no, dish up. And I say, no, I'll go last. You guys all go first. And they're thinking, geez, Richard's such a nice guy. He's changed. But in my mind, I'm thinking when they've all eaten, I'm going to grab everything that's left on that table. But nobody knows that. They can't see that part of me. But now when I go at night and I have to do certain things and write certain things down and reflect on my day, like that's the honesty I got to come up with, Like I wasn't truthful there. I should have told everybody, you know what, you guys go ahead of me because I want to have what's left.
Yeah.
But rather I'd make it look like I'm a good guy,
Try and manipulate.
No, exactly. So it all comes down to what's my reason for being there? Am I doing everything I'm supposed to be doing? And if I'm on fit spiritual grounds, I can go anywhere. But if I'm not, then it's better that I just stay away. You know what I mean?
I think, that's just, it sounds like these are sound principles. It's not difficult to imagine that thinking carefully about what your intention is, that's it's gonna work in your favor.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. So the next question is, can I turn to religion as means of my recovery?
No, you can.
That one.
No. For me, it's like I do service at a treatment center on a Wednesday night, and I must say, like what I try to sell there is not sell. I do tell them that, listen, I'm in the fellowship of Cocaine Anonymous. I'm not here to force anybody to follow in what we do. This is what we know, as I do it with a friend. And I said, this is what we know, and this is what's worked for us. But what we can say is whatever it is you do, when you leave a place or you've gone through some form of a treatment program, whatever it is, when you leave that place, you got to continue doing something. And it doesn't matter what it is. You just do it properly.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like most people will go up to step 4 and then they give up. Somebody will go to church for 3 Sundays and never go again. Some guy goes and he's got an outpatients program and he needs to see psychologist every Thursday for the next 12 weeks, but he does it only once. Like don't do things half. If religion is what your go-to is, give it a go. Do the best you can. If it doesn't work, then you try something different. But at least you can say you've done it, you've tried it, and you've given it your best. Most people will say, no, the 12 steps doesn't work for me, but they only got up to step 4, or they never sponsored people, or they never did inventory, or they never prayed and meditated. They don't do all 12, Like somebody says, hey, church didn't work for me. Well, when did you go? No, I went 3 times last year. Well,
were you practicing the principles?
Yeah, exactly.
That's something. Like, I know you go to church. I know a lot of churches. You have it's the same principles. It's about helping people.
Yeah.
It's less about self. It's more about kind of community as well.
And religion is love. So like if you look at all the other stuff, all the stuff that's generated that makes religion bigger, because after getting clean, I read up about a lot of things, you know, and it's like, if I read little bits of the Quran or the Bhagavad Gita or the Bible, and there's certain quotes, things like this, it all talks of the same thing. You know, like if you follow, like you said, the principle, it's like love your neighbor.
Sure.
Sponsorship. All of that is about caring about that person. And that's what it's about. Like if I'm able to, and the thing is, in churches, the difference between, for me personally, this is a personal opinion, religion is for people that don't want to go to hell. So they go to this house and they sit there, or this church, and they sit there and they go home and the guy clouts his wife, you know. And then you got a guy that now tries to practice a spiritual program. That's a guy that's been to hell and doesn't want to go back.
Okay.
It's a big difference, you know. Like I know a lot of people that go to church, but they don't practice what's said there.
Yeah.
But the reason why they don't practice it is because their life doesn't depend on it. A guy that comes out of recovery, that's had a near-death situation, a person that's come out of rape or come out of cancer or come out of trauma, like a childhood trauma, they've all had experiences that caused them so much pain. And when they come out of that, they will practice those principles because they don't want to go back there. Because the principles of religion are spiritual. It's love.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're able to practice what you get taught. So it's no point just like sitting in a meeting. Like if I want a car, I'm not going to sit in my garage and close my eyes and a car's going to come. Like I've got to do something.
Yeah.
And like you said, the principles that the Bible teaches are good principles. The principles that the Quran teaches.
I got to build my half of the bridge with the principles and values that yeah, I hear you.
Exactly. Like what you put into the universe, you're going to get out.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, if I put a half-assed effort in, or if I put a half measure in, I'm going to get a half measure back.
Yeah. Can I drink non-alcoholic beer and champagne now that I'm in recovery?
I can just what for?
Yeah, straight.
We drink alcohol and take drugs for the effect it produces.
Yeah.
So drinking non-alcoholic beer
tastes like shit.
A nice warm whiskey after a long day out in the sun is not tasty.
Yeah, I hear you.
Ice cold Coke, no, that's refreshing.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a warm tequila that's been baking in the sun, it's not nice.
Yeah. So I had a buddy that always used to answer that question by saying, "Well, have you ever smoked cocaine-free crack?" It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, go sniff a grandpa, like you use grandpa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm staying clean to get my children back. Is this wrong?
Yes.
Okay.
To stay clean.
I disagree with you on that, but let's hear your version.
Okay.
Yeah.
To stay clean, to get anything back. You know, if the purpose and the motive is to get back, you know, then you're more likely going to end up worse. You're going to end up causing more pain and suffering than you ever did. If one of your goals
is to be a good parent,
is to be a good dad and eventually be a loving father and have them in my life again, I know that I have to do this. But there's a difference between getting them back. Okay, so getting them back.
Then we're on the same page. Okay,
cool. Or you would like to be part of their life again.
Yeah.
It's a difference. Okay. I want to get that car. I want to get that job. I need that car. I need my kids. I need my wife. That's different to I'm going to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this so I can be a good dad.
Yeah.
And my kids are going to love me for the person I am today because I'm doing this. You know what I mean? It's still the same thing almost.
I hear you.
Yeah, so it's like,
motive.
I'll give you an example. I got a family member and they also now in treatment or doing something, and then they there and now they've got this proposal of what they need as help, and so for me it's like if the person really wants it, they'll meet halfway. Like, what are you prepared to do? Now I'm prepared to do this. Okay, we'll meet you the other half. But if there's nothing coming from there, then what's the point of doing this?
Sure.
So like, the fact of the matter is that like I've got a son. I haven't seen him. I've only seen him 4 or 5 times in my life. But I knew that if I focused on getting him back, then I would have gotten into something too quickly. I more likely would have made things worse for him, rather than.
It would have been a. I hear you. The intention isn't sincere.
Yeah. So if it's sincere, like I would like my kids to be part of my life again.
Yeah.
But like for that to happen, I would have to be someone else. Like I would have to change. So
how's that going, Richard? Are you winning on that front though?
No, well, the thing is, it's growing quite a lot now in terms of the mother moves around a lot, and it's a very tricky situation. He doesn't speak English. I met a Russian girl in Mozambique, and made her pregnant, and then she left for Russia because of who I was, and then I wasn't the nicest person. I did some bad things, and but now she, like, obviously I communicate with him. For 3 years there was nothing, but now I bought him a phone for his birthday, so now we message each other, even though he can't really say much.
Yeah.
But we play chess online together. So it's growing, and I think when he gets old enough, the roles will be reversed, where it's going to be with me when he's older, and when the time comes, I'll be there.
Yeah.
But thing is, I haven't thrown myself in it, so it's coming at me at the pace I'm able to handle it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm unable to handle a relationship. Maybe now I can, but like, I've tried to go on a few dates like a year ago, and I tried to do a few things, and like, I told my sponsor, I'm not qualified for this stuff.
Okay.
Hey, I'm not qualified for it. It's but thing is, today I'm restored to sanity.
Yeah.
Like, I know what I'm capable of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know what I'm not capable of. So, like,
easy does it, eh?
I can up until this incident with my family member that's surprised us. Like, I could tell you in 6 months what I was doing on Sunday.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. at 7:45, 6 months time, I could tell you this is what I'm doing Sunday.
Okay. Cool.
You know, and life I've made it so simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't need or want anything. Like,
that's cool.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Can I choose a family member to sponsor me after I leave treatments?
No, it's like asking a guy to sponsor a girl. You know, like, people know why they say girls sponsor girls and guys sponsor guys. It's because most people that come into recovery, like, if I look at it, I got issues with some of my family members.
Yeah.
You know?
You want it to be arm's length.
Yeah. So, like I don't want to go, if I'm sitting now with my brother, I'm not going to talk about his wife that I don't like. So I'm going to withhold things that are bothering me.
Just to clarify, though, you cool with his wife, right?
No, his wife is good. No, he's like today. I've got no. If he's gonna watch this, no, Mark. It's just an example.
Cool, man.
Hey, best wife in the world. No. So, like, once again, it's there's always somebody. For me, a sponsor is like somebody that's from the outside. He's got no motive. Like, he's got no reason for saying the wrong thing or harming me or doing anything. And I'm not scared to tell him anything because I'm not worried about where it's going to go. You know, I've had sponsors that wanted to. My salary must go into their bank account and they must do this. And
really?
I've had guys that want to charge you for sponsorship. I'll give you an example. I'll tell you why I'm sold on this idea, because if you hear my history, is that I came to my first meeting in 1996.
Okay. Jeez.
Yeah, that was also just coming out of my first treatment center.
Yeah.
I'm 43, so I was in matric.
Jeez.
I just came out of matric. Okay, I matriculated in 1996. First treatment center. I was in the fellowship from then.
Yeah.
In 2014 was the first time ever in my life somebody told me there was this thing, the 12 steps.
Oh, really?
And I was going to 12-step meetings.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like today. Nobody actually even knows what the stuff is about.
Okay.
So then I went through, but this was after multiple treatment centers. And I went to this treatment center and they introduced it to me. It didn't work. I still went up and used it again. Then I did it again and again and again. And then one guy came and sat with me. And he said, Richard, this is what he did. And I knew this guy was like me. And I just threw myself at it. And, you know, it worked. But, like, I wouldn't have done it with anyone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able, like, I had sponsors before and I wouldn't talk to them and I would withhold information and I would say things the way I go. So, like, even a family member
even
or a
if
friend,
the family member is somebody that's been through it, I think it's still a bad idea.
It's a very bad idea. I think it's got to be a closed mouth friend, because you say something to a family member. Family members, you know, they talk out of concern sometimes. They don't mean it bad, and it comes out wrong. And the thing is, then that person finds out they'll never ever trust a sponsor again. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's what a lot of people struggle with, is because some people do share what happens with their sponsees. I might share about a sponsee, but I'll never ever use his name. Never. I'll say one guy that I know once shared on this and he went through this, but this is what he did. Oh, wow. You know? But I never ever say, hey, John, that from this place, he did this. Like you can't do that to someone, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can reference in things, but you can't use people's names and stuff.
No, it's like, Yeah, no, it's just common courtesy. Never mind, like,
Yeah, like family.
ethically correct and all that.
I know
yeah.
some guys that use their wives as sponsors, and then like
Yeah.
the guy's got to do an inventory. He's never going to get honest.
No.
You know, like you need to get honest. So like if you're going to sit with someone, it's got to be someone you can tell the truth to and feel nothing for telling the truth.
Okay. I'm like dumbstruck that I've never heard. Well, I've heard it once, I think, but like a sponsor asking you to charge, like, or charging you.
Yeah.
That's insane. I can't believe that.
The
Eh?
guy even advertised in the paper
Really?
in Durban. I know him actually. He was a friend of mine.
Oh, really? Okay. Has he stopped his nonsense?
No, he's clean, but he's
Okay.
still nuts.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. My husband complains that I go to AA and NA meetings every night of the week. He says I'm neglecting our marriage. I'm only trying to do my recovery the best of my ability. Please help.
Okay, one thing I've learned over the years is that if a meeting is keeping me clean, my chance of recovery is not very high.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Meetings are there, which gives me short-term relief.
Okay.
So it's a short-term relief, and so sometimes in the beginning I need lots of it. But also, if I'm too much somewhere, I'm not enough somewhere else. You know, and
I don't think. I mean, you come into recovery so you can spend time with your family, because like
You need
as
balance.
opposed to being on the streets all day long or whatever.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like I got in. I was at there was a big CA convention on it. It was my birthday because they had it on the 25th of November every year,
Oh yeah.
and it was my birthday. So they're like, "Are you coming to the convention?" No, but why not? It's my birthday. Yeah, but you must come to CA. You owe it to CA. I said, but my family want to spend the day with me.
Yeah.
No, but see, I said, listen, yeah, my friend, they will always come before this. If my mother wants to see me,
On my birthday.
on my birthday, that convention can wait.
That's why you got clean, right?
Yeah, it's like today, like my mother's got a loving son that she can rely on.
Yeah.
My brother's got a brother that he can spend time with. His sister's got someone that she can phone. Like I've got my at work, the colleagues and friends, I've got relationships. And the fellowship also, like I go there, like sometimes if I'm struggling, I might go there a little bit just to get a bit of a kickstart, but then I'll tell my wife, you know what, I need a bit of time out or whatever, and then she knows. But every single day, and I'm not home and I'm not meeting my other responsibilities, is not okay.
No.
You know, I'm trying to live a balanced lifestyle
That's
in all
it.
my affairs. And if I'm going somewhere, my wife says, you know what, you're going too much. Okay, I'm sorry, I'll spend more time with you. And then ask her, what do you like? No, I'd like to do this on a Tuesday and a Thursday. No problem. And you make sacrifices.
Yeah.
Because then it's all about me again.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, they're suffering when I'm using drugs. Now they're suffering when I stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's for me, I think you need to be well balanced and try to focus on that. And it takes time finding out, but you find out very quickly based on what people say. And it's been able to accept the criticism or also accept that they have needs and wants from you because of things that you've done. So it's been able to accept that too.
Yeah. So like doing a 90-90, I mean, for the first 3 months, that's okay, right? I mean, you know, it's not like, I mean, it's early days, right?
Yeah, for me, I don't ever suggest 90.
No,
it doesn't even come out of my mouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just tell the guy we're gonna sit together.
Yeah.
I get a guy through the program. If he's a guy that's willing and he wants to, 4 to 6 weeks, he's done.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I tell him to try and help someone else.
Okay.
And the place where he can find people to do that is generally at meetings or at like these other places, at facilities. But and if he doesn't want to, if he doesn't feel like, if he doesn't go, he doesn't go. It's like he mustn't feel that there's obligation for him to be there.
Okay.
Like I need to do this and I need to do that. When I'm in that space, I'm uncomfortable. You know, like I'm living a free man. Like if I need to be somewhere, it's because that's going to give me something that I want. You know, like if one day meetings, like for instance, lockdown happened, poof, imagine meetings all stopped. People deteriorated in a matter of because that just showed the people where their reliance was.
Yeah.
Their reliance was on all these things human. I'm told I'm beyond human aid.
Okay.
You know, like I need something bigger than me, which is my brother that walks around with me all day, big brother.
Yeah.
You know, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like he's there every day.
Yeah.
If I live according to what he says, and I'm loving the next person, I never have to go to a meeting for the rest of my life.
Can I ask you another question quickly? Yeah, it's like I'll throw one in there. Have you ever told a sponsee not to associate or hang around with another person who has a different view on the steps?
Never.
No.
No.
Okay.
Never. I don't. For me, it's like I got friends. I've actually got a friend of mine in Durban. She's 13 years clean. She's not like me at all. And we at headlock every time we talk, when we go for dinner, we do whatever. But I've known her for 13 years.
I mean, that can even be constructive. Hey?
Yeah, and she gives me her view, and I give my view, and I say we agree to disagree, and then we move on. And it's like she does it her way, and she thinks, well, I'm not like you. You do it like that, I do it like this. And it's like, okay, well, no problem. And then we carry on.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, it's like, you happy? If whatever you're doing works, carry on. But if it doesn't work, then let's have a chat.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like, I'm for anything. Like I really have today got an open mind where I don't care what a person does.
Okay.
My whole thing is, there's one condition: don't do nothing.
Sure.
So if I got a sponsee and he does nothing, I just cut him loose.
Okay.
You know, I am a very straightforward, direct person. I struggle with a lot of fears as well, but I'm direct. Like, I call a spade a spade. You know what I mean? Like, the guy, if he wants to ask a question, I just say it as it is. If he likes it, he likes it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. It's not my problem. You know what I mean? And if he's there to mess me around because I'm putting time aside for him and I'm doing whatever I want because I'm giving my time, like, I have to free up. And then sometimes the guys will come on a Sunday and you'll sit there and please be at my house 2 o'clock. That just doesn't pitch. And then it's like, I've just made all these plans. The Oak doesn't pitch. He doesn't let you know. And then you decided to go to his mother's house for lunch and you're sorry, I didn't make it. And you phone him.
No, that's not
like those kind of guys. Like, some people say, shame, give him time. No, cut you loose. Because when you're ready, you will come properly.
And I
then
think
you'll
next
do the
time
work.
you'll have a bit more respect for the...
No, exactly. It's like, but it's also being honest. Because like the guys, if I sit there and say, no, it's fine, come sit down.
Hey, listen, I don't know too many drug addicts that are that far gone that they don't have the common courtesy when they're sober. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know guys that are sober that do that to me all the time. On a Friday night, I leave work early, go home, I wait.
Yeah. Nothing.
No call, no nothing.
Shit.
And like now I'm like, okay, what do I do? Then I phone the guy. How's it? You're supposed to be meeting me tonight. No, hey, I'm tired. I had a long day, bro. And sorry.
No, that's not cool.
No, then it's like, cool. Then he says, can I come see you on Sunday? No.
So cool. At least we got a good guideline. You can send them this like clip.
No, they must read
listen,
it.
I'm gonna sponsor you, but you need to watch this.
No, exactly. No, it's like, the thing is, I'm working with a guy now. I'll give you an example. There's a guy now that I'm working with. This guy, he's been through the mill. Like, he's been through the mill. I don't have to ask him anything. Everything that I'm doing with him comes from him.
Really?
This guy, when I get to the, hey, his book is out. He's got a highlighter. He's got a pen. And you do this, no problem. Hey, where do I read? But thing is, this guy is beaming. But 6 weeks ago, well, I think he's actually going on to 60 days. Like, this guy, you looked at him, he belonged in a psychiatric ward. Now he's like, got a bounce in his step.
Shame.
You know, and that for me, like, when I see this, like, what it does for me, he doesn't realize it, but what it does for me is, like, I'm so happy to see him.
Yeah.
And a guy like that is one, like, I'll be honest with you, in the last 2 years, maybe worked with maybe 20 different addicts. And out of those 23 have completed all 12 steps.
Okay.
I've been in a treatment facility where I sat there every Wednesday night. And every single guy's taken my number down. They've said they're going to contact me, and they've done this. I've had, out of that play, I've had maybe 4. But 4 is better than none. Yeah. But like, they all say they're going to do all these things, but when they leave, they don't do anything.
Don't follow through.
And that's what I'm trying to sell. Is it doesn't matter what you do. Like, don't come and think what we're selling you is the only option.
I think for the guys that don't follow through, I think it's okay that they've got a message and that they know that you're available when they're ready, because not everybody that comes into treatment's ready.
No,
just,
that's the thing, is every time they come in, they're just a little bit closer. So eventually that number, and this guy, funny enough, was one of those guys.
Okay.
He said, I'm going to call you Monday, and he didn't. But true as Bob, 2 months later, he called me because he still had to go and experiment a bit more. Me, an example, for my first meeting in 1996.
You had to go through a process.
I only started understanding this stuff in 2014. And then it was 2 more relapses, and then only it's like, wow. The
danger with it, though, is it's okay to say it's a process, and it's like, each rehab forms part of the process or whatever, but it's you could die. Like
Exactly.
that's the other thing. So
Exactly.
it's
I know people that have done half. A guy's gone out with 300 rand and he's bought something from a guy and it was a bit dodgy and he's dead. And a little 19, 20-year-old.
Yeah.
And then I look at the things I've gone through and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
I'm lucky to be alive.
Sure.
And especially after doing it so many times.
Yeah.
You know, and if I look at the time I've done it, I'll give you an example. Like I've gone through an experience of one of my family members going through something, and I'm thinking I'm all spiritual and I'm all this and I'm all that, but this person is drove me mad.
Yeah.
Like I started getting cross and this and that. Like, where's the selflessness and the covering line? Like, you're stuffing me around here. How dare you? But the difference is she was my family. I couldn't just walk away.
I hear you. Yeah.
If it was a sponsor, I just cut you loose. Now I had to think to myself, this is just the person for 7 days.
Yeah.
I did this to my mom for 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a reality check for me. It was like, wow, now I'm on the other end of the stick.
Yeah.
And you know what? My mother, she loved me every single time. I can't love like that.
No. I hear you.
I don't have it. No, I don't think I'll ever have it in me to love like my mother loves or my sister. Like unconditionally. I didn't even know what that is. If I do, it's by accident.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, but okay, cool. Thanks, Richard.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, really. Like, I think there was a hell of a lot of valuable stuff there, and like really good answers. And
Thanks, Ryan.
all right, Richard.
All right,
Awesome.
man, take
Thanks
care.
a lot.
Cheers,
Cool.
eh.